Hi everybody, Elin here. Today I come to you guys with the month of December's book haul, and this has definitely been like the last couple of months. It's kind of massive, enormous, gigantic, whatever synonym you want to use for it. It's a huge book haul and I haven't even counted them yet, so I'll write how many it is in the name of this video so you'll know. Since I have actually a lot of books to talk about, I think we should just get started. So first we have another edition of Alice in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. So this edition I actually got from Jamie as a Christmas present, and this is a Puffin Chalk edition, and it's so gorgeous, and it's also a quote on the back, and I've already read this edition. Well, now I have because it's awesome. And so yeah, of course I needed another one, so this is my 13th one, I think. And now we also have A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, also in the Puffin Chalk edition, which I also got from Jamie as a Christmas present. She spoils me rotten. But yeah, this one is you meet Mr. Scrooge, and it's the Christmas holiday, and he's not really in the celebrating kind of spirit really. He's kind of mean and grumpy old man, and he gets visits from 4 different ghosts. One is of his old business partner Marley, and he tells him that for the next coming days he will get visits from 3 different ghosts that will take him, you know, from the past, the present and the future, and show him how life has gone and will be and so on. This little girl wants to go into mommy's bookshelves all the time. Mommy doesn't want that. No. Are you trying to make me not talk? I am. And then we actually have Fredrik Backman's newest book, which is actually a novella, and this is called Ditt livs affär, and this is really short. It's like 80 pages, and it is a lot of illustrations in it, if I can find any. Here's a lot of them, and I actually got this from Adlibris, where it was like the only place you can get a hold of a signed copy, so of course I got the signed edition. And this is my 3rd signed book from him, and one of them are dedicated, so I mean, building that collection. And in this one it's actually like 3 people, they're all dying from cancer. It's pretty much the question of, would you sacrifice yourself to save someone else, even if it means that your entire life will be erased and nobody will remember you? That's pretty much the premise of this book, and it was so good. And then we got the 3rd and the last book I got from Jamie as a Christmas present, and this is Papperssjälar by Emma Johansson, and this one is actually signed, so that's awesome. And this one we meet Emilia, and you don't really get to know a lot from the synopsis from the back, but it's pretty much that secrets will eat you from the inside out, and it will also destroy lives, especially if it's secrets that you want to, you don't want people to know, and you do everything to, you know, cover them up really. And it's like a landmine, and Emilia has one of those inside of her, and it's threatened to like burst and explode inside of her. But this mine is not only her own, it also risks to explode a lot more people than that. So I mean, it's very vague what it's about, but I've heard amazing reviews of this book from people that I trust, Jamie included, so I do hope I will like this. And then we also have The Archive by Victoria Schwab, and on the front it actually says everybody has a story. So in this one we meet Mackenzie Bishop, and there are these people called librarians that can read like a life as if it were pictures, and then they're called histories, and the vast realm in which they rest is the archive, which is also the name of the book. And Mackenzie Bishop has been there for 4 years, from when she was 12 years old, and now she's still trying to prove herself. And her dad actually brought her there from the beginning, but now he's dead, and Mac has grown into what he once was, and that is a ruthless keeper, and they're actually tasked to stop violent histories from waking up and getting out. And because of her job, she lies to people she loves, and she knows fear for what it is, and uses her tool for staying alive. But being a keeper is not really a safe kind of job, it's actually kind of dangerous, and it's also a constant reminder of everybody that Mac has ever lost in her life. And there's also someone who's deliberately altering histories, erasing essential chapters, and unless Mac can piece together what remains, the archive itself will crumble and fall. And then we have Pivot Point by Casey West, because just like it is with Victoria Schwab, I need to read everything she's ever written, and I'm getting there. But this is a duology, I believe, that that I have not read yet, and this is actually the first book. And in this one we meet Addison Coleman, and her entire life is like a big what if, and she's also a searcher. And whenever Addie is faced with a choice, she can look into the future and see both outcomes. It's the ultimate insurance plan against disaster, or so she thought. When Addie's parents ambush her with the news of their divorce, she has to pick who she wants to live with. And Addie loves her life just as it is, so her answer should be easy. One search 6 weeks into the future proves it's not. With love and loss in both lives, it all comes down to which reality she's willing to live through and who she cannot live without. Vi bok 1, which is written by Sara Bergmark Elfgren och Carl Jonsson, who has also done the illustrations in this one. So this is actually a graphic novel, and it has some really great illustrations in here. And this one I actually also managed to get signed by both of them. And this is, I think it's my third signed book by Sara Bergmark Elfgren. So I have like 3 Swedish authors, which I want to have like all of their books signed, so working on that collection. But this is a graphic novel, like I said, and it actually is inspired by the Norse mythology, so you meet like Loki and Odin and stuff like that. And we also have Vey, and she's actually unconscious in the water. Vikings actually found her in the water, and you know, it's a bloody and like pretty much gory play between giants, gods and humans. And then we have Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kari Maniscalco, and I don't really know a lot about this. I know it's about this girl who is a mortician, really, so she take care of people after they died and like find out where they died and stuff like that. And then also Jack the Ripper comes to town, starts killing people, and this girl is trying to figure out who he is and why he's doing what he's doing. I guess she's a little bit fascinated. Now we have more of V.E. Schwab, because this is a Schwab kind of haul. So we have A Gathering of Shadows and A Conjuring of Light, which is book 2 and book 3 in the A Darker Shade of Magic trilogy, and they're massive. But yeah, I did read the first book earlier this year and I really liked it. So I want to finish the series, and I don't know if I will be able to do that in December, but I mean, it's a goal of mine. But in the first one we meet Kel, and he's one of the few living people that can travel through different dimensions, really, and it's different kind of London. So there's like white London, black London, red London and grey London, I believe. And there's a different amount of magic in each of these Londons, and he's one of the few that can actually travel between them. And he kind of makes a mistake and shit happens, and it was really good. I've never really read anything like it, so I need to finish the trilogy. And now we have Warcross by Mary Lou, which is a book I wanted to have even before it was out, and now I finally have it. So on the front it pretty much just says player, hunter, hacker, pawn. So in this one we meet Amika, and she's struggling to make things meet, and she also works as a bounty hunter, and she tracks down Warcross players who bet on the game illegally. But the bounty hunting world is a competitive one, and it's also hard to survive. And to make some quick cash, Amika takes a risk and hacks into an opening game of the International Warcross Championship. And she, at this point, she actually accidentally glitched herself into the action and become an overnight sensation. And she's convinced she's going to get arrested, of course, but Amika is actually shocked when she's contacted by the young billionaire Hideo Tanaka, who is the game creator, and he has an irresistible offer for her, and that he needs a spy on the inside of this year's tournament in order to uncover a security problem. So that sounds really interesting. I really did like Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, and I kind of get the same vibe from this one, so I do think I like it. Another Schwab book. So this is A Darker Shade of Magic, the exclusive collector's edition by V.E. Schwab, obviously. So the original cover for this one is actually white, but this is black, and it has fan art on the covers. So a couple of different ones. And then it is actually also signed, which is awesome. And then we'll also have The Last Namn Sara by Kristen Ciccarelli. chic. I don't know, I'm sorry. But this one I got in my, I want to say November Fairy Loot, but I'm not sure if that's the right month. But on the back it pretty much just says Destroyer, Deathbringer, Dragon Slayer, I am more weapon than a girl. So for once it's actually not about, you know, being friends with the dragons, it's about slaying them. So I'm intrigued, and that's pretty much all I know about the book, but that's pretty much all I want to know. I used to be like really, I wanted to know exactly what it's about, but these days I just want to kind of go in blind, so I'm not actually going to tell you any more than that, but I'm really looking forward to reading this. Furyborn by Claire Legrand, and this is actually a advanced reader's copy because this book will not be out until May 22nd, 2018, and this is an arc we got in the November Fairy Loot. And this is also like, it says 2 queens will rise, one with the power to save the world, one with the power to destroy it. They carry your fate in their hands. And then we have another book I've been wanting to have for a long time, and that is Frostblight by Ellie Blake. And this one is about Ruby, and she is a fireblood. But she lives in a land ruled by frost, and her very existence is a crime, and she spent her whole life in hiding until the day Frostblood soldiers raid her village and kill her mother. That is the day she swears she will revenge her people. And she must travel into the heart of the enemy to the court of the Frost King with only the mysterious warrior Arcus, a Frostblood rebel, by her side. With alliances between fire and ice strictly forbidden, is Arcus friend or foe? Ruby will only have one chance to destroy the magical ruler who took everything from her. She has no idea just how hot her fire will burn. And we also have The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. And people have told me to read this book a lot, and people love the TV show. Like, my classmates won't shut up about it, so I figured, time to pick up the book. Okay, so this one you meet Offred, and she is a handmaid, and women are not allowed to learn to read anymore, so the signs are not actually words on them anymore, it's on the pictures. And Offred used to be married and have a daughter, but since birth is declining, she and the other handmaids actually have to try to get pregnant, and because their only value is in how valuable their ovaries are, and they're just trying to get kids off of these people. And I mean, it sounds really horrible, but at the same time I'm really looking forward to reading the story, and I've heard really great things about it, so I hope I will like it. And then we have Renegades by Marissa Meyer, and this is massive, look at that. And this is actually the first book she's written, I believe, that is not a retelling. The Renegades are a syndicate of prodigies, humans with extraordinary abilities. So it's sort of a like superhero kind of vibe to it. And who emerged from the ruins of a crumbled society, established peace and order where chaos reigned. As champions of justice, they remain a symbol of hope, courage to everyone, except the villains they once overthrew. So it's so cool. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. I do like reading about superpowers and stuff like that, and I need to read this. And then we have Alice in Wonderland, Cine Story comic by Disney, and this is pretty much a comic because you get about 1,000 stills from the Disney movie of Alice, and then they've added, like, you know, speech bubbles, and it's so good. And I read this one so quickly, and it's so good. And now we have the character vault of Harry Potter, and you get to know a lot of facts about the different characters, how they made their costumes, and how the character became to be, like, on the screen and everything like that, and the different decisions they made about the character's appearance, and how they tricked film Hagrid into looking so big and everything like that. Another Victoria Schwab or V.E. Schwab book. But this is the last one. So this is Vicious, which is, I don't know if it's going to be a duology or not, but I know that book 2 called Vengeful will be out in 2018, I believe. So it won't be a standalone anyways. And in this one we meet Victor and Eli, and they started out as 2 brilliant but arrogant college students. And they're really ambitious and everything like that, and really clever. But in their senior year, a shared research interest in adrenaline, near-death experience, and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility. That under the right conditions, someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go horribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor is out of prison and determined to catch up to his old friend, now a foe. And aided by a young girl whose reserved nature obscures a stunning ability, meanwhile Eli is on a mission to eradicate every other superpowered person that he can find, aside from a psychic, an enigmatic woman with a breakable will. And then we've got a review book that I got from Wikimedia, and this is called Drakviskaren by Lovisa Wistrand. And this one meets Iselda, and her village were burned to the ground, and now she's out after revenge. Takes her from the woods called Valenere to Gorgora's jungles and the ruins of the unearthly city called Sumatra. And the enemy's leader has to die, and she wants to be the one that kills him. And on her way to get her revenge, she meets a man, she falls in love, she doesn't know if she can trust him, you know, that kind of stuff. And I have heard really great things about it, so I do hope I will like it. And then we have one of my most anticipated releases for this year, and that is Witchwood by Tahari Mafi. And look at that cover! It's so freaking gorgeous. I love her middle grade covers. In this one you meet Laylee, and she actually washes dead bodies for a living. And it becomes easy to forget and easy to still ignore not only her ever-increasing loneliness, but the way her overworked hands are stiffening and turning silver, just like her hair. But soon a pair of familiar strangers appear, and Laylee's world is turned upside down as she rediscovers color, magic, and the healing power of friendship. Lush and enchanting, critically acclaimed, and healing power of friendship. So I really loved Furthermore, which was Tahari Mafi's first middle grade book, so I'm really looking forward to reading this, and I mean, it's so gorgeous, I just want to dive right into it. And then we have De Andra by Nils Petter Löf, which is another review book I got from Wikimedia. And this one is a woman who dies, and it's so mystical. Why did she die? How did she die? And there's also these mystical creatures that lives out in the forest, and the living's world are becoming more of a chaotic kind of world, and it's really like a lot of death and destroy it's really a lot of death evolving around them. And in the dreams they want to have the ability can visit the sleeping world, but this door to the sleeping world actually had two different doors. The Saknade by Thomas Rydahl, which is a review book I got from Bokfabriken. And this one you meet a bit called Erhard, and he's taking care of his goats, and he's very quiet and calm kind of life. He's no longer able to drive his taxi or play the piano, so to be able to make a living, he returns lost dogs and stolen mopeds, and to run away from the loneliness, he takes a job that no one else wants, and by doing so he risks everything. And he ends up on the continent of Africa with economic instability and thousands of fleeing people trying to get to Europe. There's a Danish TV team who gets to the Little Islands airport to record a episode of a missing person. And this reality show is called The Saknade. And the goal with this is to find a lost father. But the daughter would rather find her father dead than alive, which is a little bit mystical. And Erhard doesn't want to be found at all, and the daughter is also not very reliable, and she has a really strong love for drugs, and you know, she's very used to getting what she wants. So this sounds really interesting. And then we have Alice Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll, which is another edition, and this is the Macmillan edition. I don't know if that's what they call them, but it's from Macmillan. And it's with the illustrations from John Tenniel, so it's the original ones, but it just looked so beautiful. I just knew I needed to have it. So now I have 13. Then I bought a classic, I know, and this is Sherlock Holmes, The Complete Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, and look at that. And it has gold edges, it has a beautiful spine, and it's beautiful in the back. So I've only actually seen like one episode of Sherlock Holmes, but it was really good, and but then the comeback's kind of funny, so I've never actually read anything, but I want to do it, so of course I had to buy the entire volume, because why not? And then we have All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Java, and this one we meet Mary Laure, and she's been blind since the age of 6, and the world is just filled with mazes for her, and the miniature of Paris neighborhood made by her father to teach her the way home. The Microscope is The Glass Bear by Lauren DeStefano. So this one we meet Will, and she is actually trained to become her father's spy, but one day she learns that her touch can turn people into gemstone, and she tries to first to test this power out, but then when it leads to, you know, tragedy, she tries to find this cure and even redemption for what she's done. And there's a prince actually that she comes across that actually wants to use her power in a different kind of way, and this was actually the last book I'm going to talk about, so yay. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. It's a huge book haul, I know, but now we'll be going on a book buying ban for the rest of December, the entire January and February, so we'll see how it goes after that, but that's all for sure the months I'm going on a book buying ban. And I definitely think I need it. But yeah, I hope you guys like this video, and I also hope that if you do, please give me some thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the little button down below. And yeah, also don't forget to click the little bell icon so that you're 100% sure that you get a notification for when I upload a new video. Can't speak anymore, I'm so tired in my head. But yeah, I hope we see each other next time. Bye.